Good morning, Twitch.tv. Good morning to YouTube as well. And, of course, good morning, Mini Motorways. Let's go to New York City, a crossover with Mini Metro, where we will take on today's daily challenge that sees the speed limit increased on bridges and some destinations always being circles. Well, for starters, here in New York, you can't touch Central Park. So even though it would make a lot of sense to just cut down here, go right through here, you absolutely cannot put roads in Central Park. That's not a thing. So we'll go up and over and around until the map expands and lets us go south of Central Park, and then we'll go south of Central Park, which just makes more sense. Especially given that this blue thing exists. We're going to have to blow up everything in a minute here, so this is... Look, this is going to be ugly, but it doesn't matter. We're going to fix it. We're going to fix everything just as soon as the map lets us go south, but no. And again, we're going to fix everything. This is... Oh, you know, come on, map. Just zoom out a little tiny bit, would you? I don't want to deal with this. Samurai Sam drops a crab rave in the chat. Good morning, Samurai Sam. Why did Sam not hit first, you ask? Well, because Bogunicorn beat him to it. Bog Unicorn was here first. Good morning, Boggers. Let's take a roundabout. Maybe should have probably taken 2 traffic lights instead of the roundabout, but you know what? It'll be fine. We're not actually going to use the roundabout anytime soon. But hey, again, just as soon as this map expands and we're able to go the teensiest bit south of this ridiculous patch of grass in the middle of Manhattan, which, you know, up until 30-ish years ago was not ridiculous that there was a patch of grass in the middle of Manhattan. It used to be ridiculous that there were all of these buildings in the middle of this forest. And then they kept building, and they didn't keep foresting. Boggers wants to decide if it's okay to multi-class their Baldur's Gate 3 sorcerer into a wizard. And, I mean, it sounds... first of all, is this person smart? Because if they're smart, then yeah, do it. If they're not smart, then... I don't know. Sorcerers and wizards need different things to be good at magic. This, now that we have finally seen the expansion of the map... will come down here. You will service this train station. The 2 of you will come up here. You have 17 intelligence, but only because of an item you're wearing. Well, I mean, is that a perma item? If that's a perma item, yeah. Yeah. You could be a good sorcerer and a good wizard. That's at least conceivable to me. I have somehow, amazingly, managed to not expose myself to pretty much any of the actual down and dirty mechanics of Baldur's Gate 3. I know that it's like the Divinity games because it's made by the same studio, and I know that it's D&D 5e because, well, I have seen some clips. There are D20s, and people have talked about it enough for me to realize that it's D&D 5e. And that's all fine, but I don't actually know how the game works, so... we'll find out at some point on stream, I promise. You are some light blues. You're going to come down this way, over to here, not cut that just yet. We'll take a very long road for you to service this circular business, which is only recently becoming a circular business, but hey, it's fine. You go that way, you go down here. It should not be a surprise. Like, I'm going to play Baldur's Gate 3 just as soon as the hype dies down, is what's going to wind up happening. You know, BG3's been out for like 6 months or so. Probably a little bit more than that. I feel like the hype has just about gone down to the point where any kind of engagement or viewership boost I might get from playing the hot new game is completely and totally gone, and therefore it is just about time to start playing Baldur's Gate 3. Oh, it's only been 3 months? Good lord. It feels like longer than that, but also time is weird. Time is weird and wibbly, and everything hurts. That's different, but it's the same basic principle. These 3 dark blues go up to here. These 4 light blues go over to there. Everything is fine. I have not personally been directly exposed to the fandom of Baldur's Gate 3, but through my good friend Goonicorn, I am aware that people be caring a lot. And I mean that both in the CARIN apostrophe sense, that they really do have very strong opinions about this video game, and it appears they do be KAREN. They do be kind of Karens about the whole thing, which, don't be a Karen about a video game. It's a video game. You can have your opinion and you can like your thing. I don't know. This is true of all things. It is not unique to Baldur's Gate 3. Oh, hey!
Don't be a Karen about video games.
Do not do that thing. In fact, do not do that thing to the point where that is the title of the episodes. Don't be a Karen about video games. Thank you, Hulkamat, coming in for 38 months in the Goog troop. More than 3 years of Hulkamat being able to drop all of these lovely tier 1 emotes, which I will now smash the buttons of now, as is custom. All right. Can you be a corn about video games? I don't know what a corn is, so I'm going to tentatively say yes, but I reserve the right to rescind that permission in case somebody tells me that a corn is a bad thing. You, 2 light blues, need to repositionate yourselves over this way. We'll kill this whole road. We'll kill this whole road. And now, you know what? I'm gonna take these reds down the long way over to here, mostly because I don't want to deal with an intersection there. It is not by any means unique to Baldur's Gate 3 or even to video games. I have found in my own personal life that there are things that I like very much, and if I expose myself to the fandom writ large, they become nightmares. This is true. We're going to take a 4th bridge because there's islands at play we're going to need. This is true of video games. This is true of TV shows. This is true of professional wrestling. My God. Can you imagine, folks? It is true that the professional wrestling fandom writ large is awful. The thing is, for a very long time, WWE did whatever the hell WWE wanted, which was really whatever the hell Vince McMahon wanted, with either no care or specific directed antipathy and intentional malice toward the fan base. And then along came AEW, and Tony Khan's actually a wrestling fan who actually listens to wrestling fans, which is good when he listens to the right wrestling fans, but lately it feels like he's been listening to the wrong wrestling fans, by which I mean the wrestling fans who like wrestling that isn't the wrestling I like, damn it. This kind of thing. Good God. Give me, yes indeed, a 5th bridge. I am serious about my commitment to bridge. We are getting old people card games over, damn it. This is a problem. We need to restructure this yellow bridge right here. Good morning, Shotgun Splicer. Boop and boop and boopy doopy doop. You come down over here. This is going to be a problem. All right, I need to catch up on chat because I have been selfish ranting. If you have heard of blood for the blood god, skulls for the skull throne, Korn is the blood god. Okay, if Korn's the blood god, then yes, be a Korn about video games. Go all blood god on shit. That's what many video games are for. Multiclassing does mean you can't get level 6 sorcerer spells, which sounds bad, but how good are the level 6 sorcerer spells? You can get more spells overall if you multiclass into wizard. And hey, you could be a magical Swiss Army knife. That's good. Giving up, I don't know what Globe of Invulnerability does, but it's called Globe of Invulnerability, so it tells me that it creates a globe inside of which you are invulnerable, which sounds good. That sounds like a good thing. Samurai Sam is doing a play and someone has dropped out at the last minute. Oh no, but you're gonna burn some PTO and learn how to be a hillbilly. Well, what you do, Sam, is you start sticking your tongue up in the roof of your mouth and just kind of elongate your neck and reach real deep into the back of your throat and just talk like a dumb person, because we rely on white trash stereotypes here. Yee-haw! I'm sorry to expose you to that at 7:10 in the morning. Probably shouldn't go that hard into stereotype. It would set a bad precedent if nothing else. All right, I do have a spare motorway, but we're not going to do that. Instead, we're going to put this dark blue on this road. You do have to say ayil. Ayil. It's just it's one big word. It's one big sound. Ayil. Ayil. Well, good news, Sam. Goofy is supposed to sound like a hillbilly. Ayil. Just watch some King of the Hill. Do your best boomhauer. Hyuk, hyuk. You can get some hyuks in there from Bagunicorn. That's absolutely right. It's almost a silent K. You know, you can't go hyuk. Don't go into your reading and say hyuk. No, you can't enunciate that well. Give me another motorway. You just gotta, reach down in the gut and just pull out a hyuk. Almost like you're doing a karate kick, like hyuk. There you go. What the fuck am I doing? I don't know. We've got to get light blues over to this square place right here. And listen, we've got these 2 light blues and 2 motorways. So this is not going to be the most efficient thing. Imagine this big fuck off motorway just flying right over Manhattan. Like, out of the way, Empire State Building. I got to get to the Kmart or... Yes, they built a Kmart in southern Manhattan in 2023. It's the most ridiculous corporate expenditure we've ever seen. It's the sole reason Sears and Roebuck went bankrupt. Also, I just invoked the name Sears and Roebuck in, again, 2023. Good topical reference times, Goog. All right, these greens will come down here. These will come right over that away. I used to work at Sears. Not for Sears, but at Sears. Did you know that Generic Siding Co., the name of which I will not mention, is having their biggest sale of the year, and you can get siding and window treatments for 90% off our regular price? That is always true. That's what they told me to say no matter what, even because the price was always the same. They lied to people. They did a falsehood. But I digress. Give me another motorway. We'll take a motorway. That was probably illegal when I did it. And if not, that company is the reason it's illegal now. I was so bad at that job. Oh, God. True fact, I have been bad at every job I've ever had except for the last 2. So, I eventually found a couple I didn't completely suck at. Sears is very notorious for saying, we say it's on sale even though that's the price it's always been. JCPenney does that. JCPenney did that so much that my last job, which was basically getting prices for stuff, my last job had specific rules for how to deal with JCPenney. Oh, God. Eventually, I think at one point the rule was don't. It was just don't. Which, I like JCPenney. I find that their fat guy stuff is reasonable for, fat guy stuff. I have no major qualms with Stafford, which is their house brand of mid-scale menswear. It's fine. It's store brand fat guy clothes, This red is just going to go over here and not actually do anything. We're going to put motorway number 2 right there. My last job did have a specific rule regarding Sears also, now that I think of it. And again, for a while, it was never don't. It was just be very careful, which is sometimes worse. It's worse, it's more complicated when the rule is be very careful. If the rule is don't, then you're simple, you're good. All right. You two are going to reposition yourselves and go over this way. These two are going to take motorway number 3 and swing out right here. They're going to emerge from the motorway district of New York City, you know, down in southern Manhattan. It is, in fact, very difficult to find decent fat person clothes. I find, as a fat dude-presenting person, that you basically have, like, 3 choices in terms of fat guy clothes. You have, I am a fat guy wearing a business suit. You have, I am a fat slob wearing a t-shirt and something. Or you have, I don't know, a Hawaiian shirt? Listen, y'all have seen me stream. There's a reason that my aesthetic even without Bang Goog Cam is usually just something approaching a tasteful Hawaiian shirt, if you can imagine that. Choices are limited, and also jeans are bad. That's just like a personal thing. They do make fat guy jeans, but jeans in general are bad. Listen, I grew up in a house with a large lady-shaped person, and yeah, there are a lot of rhinestones. There are a lot of florals. There's a lot of, like, just big, and granted, there's a lot of big in the people. That is also the problem. It's almost as if, well, anyway. What are we gonna do? This little circle right here looks weird and awkward and bad, and I feel like we can do better. We can definitely do better vis-a-vis this little circle right here, can't we? We must. We as a society have advanced beyond the need for this little circle right here. And yet, given that it exists, we should at least entertain it. Here, you come down this way. We'll add a 5th house to you. You go down that way. It is so expensive to dress like you're under 60 years old. I mean, it's expensive to dress like you're 60 years old. Then again, when I think of how does a 60-year-old person dress, I think of the way my grandfather dressed, which I guess he would have been 60 in 1992, which was the last time I saw him. Hi, Nora. Cat just meowed at me. It's fine. She hasn't been fed yet. That's not fine. She wants to remind me that she hasn't been fed yet and exists. Which, listen, it's true. Those are both true facts. The cat exists and the cat has not been fed. But Goonicorn can indeed make comfy sweater. So there you go. Now all you have to buy is presentable pants. And again, presentable pants is a challenge, at least for the me-type people. Let's take, I've got a roundabout. Let's take 2 traffic lights. Shotgun Splicer has redeemed a treat for Nora. Circle Master has jeans and some number of identical black t-shirts, so you don't have to think about what you wear. You just put on jeans and a black t-shirt. Now listen, that is a respectable choice. I understand and respect the people who look at the general fashion game and are like, nah, I'm good. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do this, and it's gonna be simple, and I'm not gonna have to think about it. I understand that. I get that. Good job. Ow. Ow, I stretched. I stretched, and my shoulder didn't like the stretch. But we have grabbed the jar of treats. Hi, Nora. What? Do you want a treat? You have not had breakfast yet, and yet I am giving you treat. Perhaps this will put you on a sugar rush. Does that happen to cats? That must happen to cats. They get, treaty type thing before they have had substantial meal, and they're all hyper shit. Well, that's going to be fun. It's a problem for future me. Enjoy your treat. Onward. All right. Everybody go while I figure out what we're doing. It appears that these two can go up here. You can swing down that way. You've got 4 going into you. You're probably totally fine. Red just came into existence up here, which is bad. But, actually, do I have anything to remedy that, or is that just bad? That might just be bad. I mean, I've got these 2 reds here, and I've got the... Actually, yeah, this is going to be fine. We're going to have to get a little bit creative with placement, but that was always the case. You 3 reds go up over here, down into there. That leaves this train station untouched, but we have these 2 reds right here. So these 2 reds right here approach this from the south. They go in there. That's going to be fine. This is a green train station, but you may have noticed we have a couple of green houses way the hell up here and 67 road tiles. And being in possession of 67 road tiles means we can get any house anywhere. When should Circle Master redeem a Sporkle quiz such that I don't forget to do the quiz? You can do that now. You can hit the Sporkle quiz button now. We'll sneak it in after the Wordle, most like. It's what Samurai Sam did yesterday. We played the 500 game as part of the celebration of the 500th. Oh my god. Circle Master has redeemed a Sporkle quiz that is apparently called Ramza, What Job Did You Get? Which tells me that it's all about Final Fantasy Tactics. Which means I'm going to have to remember the plot of Final Fantasy Tactics, which, oh boy. Listen. I think it's not plot related. That's good. It might be mechanic related, which is also scary. But, just look at the sprites and identify the class. I can probably do that. Here's the thing with the plot of Final Fantasy Tactics, and I think both of these things are true. I don't think this is a one or the other situation. I think both of these things are true. One, playing Final Fantasy Tactics every week or so for 3 hours or so means that I have plenty of time to forget the plot of Final Fantasy Tactics and am then asked to remember the plot of Final Fantasy Tactics. Sometimes the game asks me to remember something that happened like 7 hours of gameplay ago, which isn't a terrible ask if we're being honest, but that 7 hours of gameplay is on occasion a month and a half. Because I'll play for 2.5 hours, and then I won't play for 2 weeks, and then I'll play for 3 hours, and then I won't play for 3 weeks, and then I'll play for another 2 hours, and then it's like, okay, this thing happened 7 hours ago, and I'm like, my dog, that was before Halloween. How do you expect me to remember that? So part of the problem I have with the plot of Final Fantasy Tactics is just the way I'm playing the game, and that's not the game's fault. Another issue I'm running into is that the plot of Final Fantasy Tactics is complicated and confusing, and the translation's not great. I think both of those are problems. Only one of them is at all Final Fantasy Tactics' fault, but I digress. This over here is a big red circle. I have 3 houses right here, which I can throw in its general direction. That seems like a problem, actually, for future me. Like, I don't think future me is going to be happy having 3 houses go to a circle and 4 go to a train station. I feel like future me is going to rebel against present me if that happens. So, instead, let's do this, which is the opposite of that. Let's have 4 go to the circle and 3 go to the foop and down. You 3 go over to here. That's going to be better. You can go up there. You have just gone circular. You already had 3 houses going to you, so, that's probably okay. Listen, if this right here wants to be yellow, that would just be amazing. I would be so happy. Also, we're going to route a 4th up to here. We're never going to need more than 2 houses, honestly. train stations just don't get that full. They get full. Don't get me wrong. They get full. They're presently full. But you're never going to need more than 2, or in this case 3, because otherwise I'd have to deploy a bridge. You're never going to need more than 2 or 3 houses for one. So this train station here is overserved by having 5 houses on it. It's a problem. This right here is fine. This is totally cool and okay. Something changed recently, and something went circular that had not previously been circular. Was it? Oh, it was you. This went circular. And it has 3 houses going to it. That's not a ton of houses. But I don't really... Like, I've got this clump of 3 houses here. But I don't want to join them, because that would create an awkward and bad intersection. So I think it's basically just going to have to be fine. That train's going to go uptown. This red house is suddenly going to become the most important red house for this business, which is fine and good. Now we have a 4th dark blue over here. You know, I think it might be a better idea now than it was 8 seconds ago. You should point east, not south. You can point north. Oh, well, now we have a 4th house for this circle, so we can just leave this alone. Oh, goodness. Ow. Neck pains and stretching. Let's take another motorway. I've got 2 of those. All right. Ooh, hi. Well, good news, actually. This is basically fine. For you see, we can do this right here. Samurai Sam has redeemed Goog's top 3 video game stories, which I suppose is basically what video game had a story you like. And, I mean, I'm trying to think if there are any... Is there any video game I can pull here that isn't just a video game I always talk about being great? And off the top of my head, I don't think so. My first immediate thought was, exactly, Sam, I swear to God this is true. My first immediate thoughts were the Mass Effect trilogy and Final Fantasy X. Now listen, part of this is because I haven't played that many video games. I have certainly never played like a bunch of super awesome visual novel games that everybody will swear up and down are the best things in the history of the world or whatever. I have not played a ton of those. But also, I really like the stories in the Mass Effect series and Final Fantasy X. You know what? I don't know. I'm thinking. Now, I'm trying to think of a third for this list. And I'm kicking around like Final Fantasy VII. This is a good story. It's a little complicated. It's a little long. It certainly hasn't aged well. Let's take 2 traffic lights. I do like the story in the FF7 remake, but I would be lying if I said it didn't get a little ponderous at times. You know, how much does this game got padded out with needless side questy bullshit at a time when the main character really should be in crisis gotta go now mode? How much does that impact the story? Because, like, if you tell the story of the things that happen and matter in, say, the Final Fantasy VII remake, you're probably going to leave out the 2nd and 3rd times that the game is like, stop! You are not allowed to progress the main plot until you complete one of these 4 side quests. And also, here are 4 side quests. Ha ha! Are those integral to the story? Are they part of the overall gameplay experience? Yup. So, you You're asking an almost literary adjacent question of a person who, despite managing to sound like a smarmy dickbag, has not actually had that much of a thorough, proper liberal arts education. Listen, y'all, I went to community college and then a mid-tier state school in Massachusetts. And not like good, smart Massachusetts, like North Central Massachusetts. Yeah. FF7 Remake especially is character driven, and the story it cares about is the story of Final Fantasy VII. It is not like an original story or another game, like a game I love that I'm not going to say has a super tremendous story, is Final Fantasy XII. You want to talk about a Final Fantasy game with a complicated, ridiculous plot that takes a long time to think through, and if you don't play it all consecutively, it really falls the fuck apart and you have to spend a long time hashing it out? Final Fantasy XII. Final Fantasy XII is that. That is a thing with Final Fantasy XII. All right, let's take a second roundabout rather than a 7th and 8th traffic light. Additionally, this light blue business way over here is angry. And part of the reason for its anger is all of this. We're going to put this red house up here. This light blue business is going to get these 5 light blue houses down here, which had previously been doing fuck all nothing. They instead will have a direct straight shot motorway. Okay. Bagoonicorn says the character-driven stories are just a kind of story. That makes sense. Medium is part of the story. Hey, let's get all Marshall McLuhan up in here. The medium is the message. I do have a communications degree. I learned something at community college. It is true that there is too much faffing about in this game is a legitimate critique. The Ace Attorney games definitely have stories. They have things that happen that don't make sense. Valkyria Chronicles it's a simple story. It's a fun story. It's good. I don't know. I don't like when I think of a game with a good story, I'm trying to think of a game that created an emotional connection to the characters in me that made me like feel something and be like, I can relate to this in some way. And I cannot relate to Valkyria Chronicles. Valkyria Chronicles is Babby's first World War II allegory with weird, unnecessary horniness. And Valkyria Chronicles 4 has ratcheted down the Babby's first World War II allegory and ratcheted up the weird, unnecessary horniness. And listen, I can personally relate to weird, unnecessary horniness. That is true. However, it is not necessarily something that I want in my media. Circle Master mentions Detroit Become Human, and listen, there are times when Detroit Become Human is going for something. And there are times when it almost hits it, and those times are good. And then there are other times. Where they have a dark-skinned character get on the back of the bus because that dark-skinned character is culturally defined as a second-class citizen, but we're not supposed to relate at all to the color of the skin, except for the obvious metaphor, because the mission is called Shades of Color. Because the character is not second class because of his dark skin. No. It's because wooble wobble, he's a robot. Ooh, it's just like race relations, which is a problem we've all solved, right? What do you mean not right? Yeah, no. David Cage definitely thinks he's saying valuable things. That's probably about right. This dark blue business has just gone circular, but it's got 4 houses and a motorway on it already, so I don't think that's a major problem. This green here is a bit of a scamp, but, I think it's basically fine. I think it's basically fine. You know what? We're going to make this a little bit better for these greens, actually. We're going to take this green up here. We're going to run that down that way. So we'll have 4 go to here, 4 go to there. This business is now mildly untouched, which is a problem until we bring these 2 greens up here, and you'll take care of that, and that'll be fine. Bogger says that David Cage gets 0.5% credit for having a race metaphor where some of the characters who are metaphorically non-white are actually non-white. But only some, and most of them die, and the rest are still hot white people. Listen, there are some hot white people in Detroit Become Human. I'm just going to play the Law and Order drop, and we're going to move on with our lives. So in terms of games that actually have... You know what seemed like a game that has a really good story that I've played a bit on stream and I never finished? Arcade Spirits. Arcade Spirits was fun. Like, Arcade Spirits didn't really take itself seriously, but it also definitely has some things to say about, class consciousness and money in general and capitalism being bad in 2020, whatever. Arcade Spirits has a good little story. I haven't played Arcade Spirits since the last time we played Arcade Spirits on stream, which was a while ago, but Arcade Spirits has a good and fun little story. All right. Bagoonicorn does not get to rag on the hot white people in Detroit Become Human when so much of their online experience is being some level of horny about the white-haired elf in Baldur's Gate. There are a lot of people who will feel a lot of ways about the weird white-haired elf. I might be conflating characters. Arcade Spirits does have a sort of sequel that might also just be DLC. I don't know. This yellow circle is kind of on fire, which makes it similar to every other yellow circle. How do we fix these yellow circles? We can. So right now, this yellow circle is being serviced by motorway number 2, which has 1, 2, 3, 4 houses kind of right next to it. What if, instead of that, we do this, which has these 6 coming up over to here? What if we just swing you right down here? So you 4 plus these 2 go up this way. You come save this business place. That's going to be okay. I think part of the problem is just that yellows are going through rush hour right now. So this yellow is dying even though it has 8 houses. You have 8 houses. You don't get to be mad, yellow. This yellow is dying. We're going to swing a 5th yellow over to here. You had better get places soon. Be better and good. This red is mad, even though reds don't really have a super great madness cause, but, it's never stopped them before. You are all gonna come like so. We're gonna go here. So this is what, 6 reds? Yeah, this is all 6 reds together. These 6 reds on a motorway going, you know what? I've got 6 bridges. Let's, instead of 6 reds, make it 9 reds. That'll be nice. You 3, we're actually going to point the reds up here. And you are going to take motorway number 7 up like so. And then we'll murder and kill all of this road. You can come down and assist at the train station, for lack of a better thing to do. All right, this business is mad. That business is mad. Give me another motorway. Mini motorways, as far as I can tell, does not change traffic based on the day of the week. That would be cool. If they made that a mechanic, that would be really neat. Hey, you want to hear a game with a good story? Mini Motorways has the story of this brilliant and intrepid civil engineer is just trying to build a city, and these goddamn fucking people keep ruining it. And then inevitably you fail and die. It's kind of a difficult story, but, Oh, dudes. Oh, my God. Oh, I feel dumb. All right. We're kicking out every game I've talked about except Final Fantasy X and the Mass Effect trilogy, because the game I've played and love with the best fucking story that I haven't mentioned one fucking time is fucking Hades. Hades has an incredible story. Hades is great. Hades actually does take the inevitable fail and die mechanic and make it part of the story. Hades fucking rules. There's your answer. Number fucking 1 is fucking Hades. And then the Mass Effect trilogy. And then special honorable mention Dragon Age Inquisition. And then Final Fantasy X. If you haven't played any of those video games, you should play any of those video games. Here's the thing, Sunflare Space. Hades is both. It is simultaneously completely impossible and always getting easier. Every single time you play Hades, you can make it easier on yourself because you get stronger. You get stronger faster than the enemies get stronger until you reach a point where you are stronger than the enemies and you want more challenge, and then the game is like, here, have more challenge. And it doesn't do it in that like Super Mario way of like, hey there, sport. Can't get across the bridge? Why, just hit this nice little button right here, and old Luigi, he'll get you across that bridge free o' charge, you incompetent fucking toddler. No, it's not like that. It's like actually built into the world and a core part of the storytelling of the game, that you have these omnipotent beings just handing you assists over and over and over to help you achieve your impossible task until you achieve the impossible task, and then they give you a second more impossible task and you get to do it over and over again because there's a gameplay loop. Did we mention the gameplay loop? You got to consider the gameplay loop. So anyway, 4,658 feels like a pretty good score. It's top 10 in the world. Samurai Sam is absent this week from the daily challenge, which means we get to gloat in our defaulted victory. Drop those GGs in the chat if you've got them. 4,658 is a top 10 score. Hooray for me. Glory and power to the _Goog and all that jazz. Let us bring in our very good friend, Mr. Wordle. Sam, whenever you ask how is this impossible sounding challenge in a video game possible, the answer is gamers. For instance, what is today's Wordle? The answer is gamer. It is not. It's not actually gamer. We have learned nothing. Great job. It could be stock. You could have a stock in Super Smash Brothers? No? Okay. Well, we've learned one and exactly one thing. So that's great. It can't be Sprig, but it could be Spund. Now, granted, there's the small, the tiniest problem that Spund is not a word. It can't be blind because we do know that the first letter is S. Blind would be a good, like, here's 5 letters that make a word I haven't used guess. But it could be, no, it can't be sling because there's no G. It can't be, it could be shiny. Could absolutely be shiny. SHINY. It's not shiny, but I have learned some things. So, Sunny suggested swill or spill. It's neither of those because the I's not the third letter. Let's see here. It could be sishu. Wait, that's almost the word it is. It's sushi. Good job, Goog. It could totally be sushi. It's sushi. Hey! I figured shit out. Hooray! Call Summer Sanders. I have figured shit out. Hold on. Wait a moment. We're receiving a message from 12-year-old the _Goog. I have referenced Summer Sanders, and therefore am obligated to hit the Law & Order drop. If you know, you know. Circle Master redeemed a Sporkle quiz. And now, we will sporkle our quiz. Final Fantasy Tactics jobs by picture. Can you name the Final Fantasy Tactics jobs by their battlefield sprites? And we get both genders, aside from the ones that are only one gender, but we know about those. Okay. Now, some of these I've probably never seen. So, listen, it's gonna be fine. All right, here, let's quick play quiz. This right here, these are your default dudes, right? These are squires. Boop. Oh, you're not telling me I got it right? I just have to guess and then you'll tell me? Oh no. Oh, bad. Okay, well, those are knights. Oh no, I just got that wrong. Oh, then these must be archers. No? What are those thieves? Those are thieves. Okay. Gotcha. Those are monks. That right there, I have never fucking seen, but they look like they're wearing calculators on their chests. So let's start with those are calculators. Hey, that's what a calculator looks like. I can identify them. That is a lady, and the only job that I know is lady only is dancer. That is a mediator, because that's Jean. Those are summoners. Those people are fucking scary. I think those are the samurai? No, those are not the samurai. Are those clerics? No, they're not time mages. I've seen them. Is that what a geomancer looks like? No. Shit and shove me in it. We'll get back to that one. This is what a geomancer looks like. That right there is a leapy guy. It's like a lancer. There we go. That appears to be a lady bundled up in the cold and then a dude wearing a cat mask. I don't think I've seen any classes that are lady bundled up in the cold or dude wearing a cat mask. So... yeah, this is what they look like, Circle Master. This looks like a lady bundled up in the cold on account of the poofy extra hair, and this is just a dude wearing a cat mask because cat mask. I don't know what this is. These are samurais. This is Cosmos. Hi, Cosmos. Oh, God. If you're not watching the Final Fantasy Tactics stream, and listen, the engagement metrics say you're not, it's a good, fun game. I'm sorry. That was me. These are chemists. I like chemists. They're good at items. This is a bard. These right here are your generic mooks. Those are your squires. That is what archers look like. Those are time mages. Team Mage. Those are ninjas. Hey, the lady ninjas wear red. That's nice. Those are, what are the white mages called? The priests. That's what they're called. They're priests. That's a wizard. And now we have to get back up here. There are two that I've missed. All right. What in the hell is this? What in the hell is this class? Have I seen this? I've seen this class. I've seen the dude in that class. I just have to remember it. I've been in this class. I'm sure I have. I think maybe I had Keith in this class once. Keith or Jean. One of those. Oh, goodness. Okay. Well, they're not squires. They're not monks. They're not samurai. There's nothing called a sorcerer. That's not like cleric. No, CL is calculator. There's no cleric in Final Fantasy Tactics. Shit, dude. Yes, I want a hint. I absolutely want a hint. Tell me the prereqs for this, or tell me what this does, or it starts with an O. Okay. It starts with an O. It casts magic. This is the ombudsman. This is the person who looks at Final Fantasy Tactics and is like, you could have done this, that, and the other thing better. Nobody ever listens to the ombudsman, but it's a very important class. This is the Marquis Ondor. Actually, don't listen to his lies. I'm Captain Bosch von Ronsenberg of Dalmasca. They apply status effects. Okay. I vaguely remember having someone available for that, and then you told me what it was, and I said, fuck that. It's probably a prereq for something good. Have no earthly idea, but there's only 10 seconds left, so I can't switch to the other one now. This is an oracle. Actually, I think I got it right. Holy shit, that's an oracle! I pulled it out of my ass! I don't care that I didn't get the mime. I've never seen a mime. What the fuck is a mime? That's not a thing. That's not a real thing. Circle Master, there are not mimes in Final Fantasy Tactics. Come on now. Be serious. There are not mimes in Final Fantasy Tactics. It's a bad psychic type. Sam, do you realize this is a Gen 1 psychic type Pokemon and it still sucks? How fucking broken were psychic types in Gen 1 and the mimes still sucked? Alright. I think that's going to do it for us here today. It has been 50 minutes already. I do want to keep these under an hour in general. We did a Sporkle quiz in place of the Immaculate Grid, but look at this grid. This grid is fairly, well, it's closer to Immaculate than most of the grids you see on this channel. How about that? Folks, I will be back tomorrow morning on Twitch for another edition of Good Morning Mini Motorways. And yes, indeed, for the people on YouTube, for the people on YouTube, there will be a new edition of Final Fantasy, Valkyria Chronicles 4 later today. And you know what? All right, YouTube folks, you're not getting a grid today. People on Twitch, stick around. We'll do the Immaculate Grid in a minute. Here's the end screen.